Hey, how's it going? This is Guyman from Mid-City Digital, midcitydigital.com. And in this video, I just wanted to go over some of our basic services for hosting and domain registration and give a quick tour of the client area. So a little bit of background here. First of all, I started Mid-City Digital back in 2011. Originally, I was just an independent freelancer, just working with individual clients here and there. And I created Mid-City Digital as a way to give them more of an agency experience, as well as myself, just to kind of consolidate things a little bit. It's also given me the opportunity to work with other developers and pursue bigger projects with different companies. So essentially, a few years after I created Mid-City Digital, I started realizing that I needed to create some kind of a hosting environment so that all my clients could have one centralized location to go manage whatever design and support services I was doing for them, as well as their hosting. So I tried a few different server configurations, a few different hosts, and it took me some trial and error. And eventually, by 2019, finally, I launched Mid-City Digital more or less in the form that it is now. So I've been making improvements behind the scenes on this. Every year there's always different updates on the back end that I handle just to try to improve the service, make things more manageable, make things more secure, etc. So if you go to midcitydigital.com, you can see we're pretty well geared towards working with small DIY startups, such as writers, creatives, bloggers, freelance designers, photographers, artists and musicians, solopreneurs, startup businesses. So, we're trying to encourage people to, really build and manage their own websites at this point as much as possible. And now if you're wanting to do some kind of a big custom web app, like if you're an advanced developer and you're going to do some software as a service, or you need to build out some big video hosting platform or your own social network kind of thing, we might not be the right hosting for you. You might want to get a VPS hosting set up, or a dedicated server even. And for stuff like that, I would actually recommend our friends over at NameHero. They've got some great VPS and dedicated hosting packages that are pretty awesome. So I'll leave a link to them in the description. But here we're shared cloud hosting, so it's pretty straightforward, pretty self-service for the most part. So you can come in and register your domain and set up your hosting on your own, and through the back end we'll knock it out. It'll usually be automatic. In some cases we might have to manually set it up, but usually it's pretty instant. So if you go here, you can see you can get started right from the home page. And just an FYI, over the course of the next few months, I'll probably redesign this a little bit, but it'll more or less be what we've got here. I'm probably going to put a little more emphasis on our blog moving forward, so keep an eye out for that. So this home page might change a little bit. You can scroll down here, and all of this from here down is pretty close to the same content you're going to see over on the hosting page. So yeah, I'll probably be putting the blog up top a little more prominent in the future, but so keep an eye out for that. But most people are able to start with just the basic startup package, and you save some money when you sign up annually. If you're just going month to month, it's going to be $10 a month basically. And you can see here the differences in the packages. 10 gigabytes of storage space is usually plenty for most websites. Some sites, if you have a little bit more media, a little bit more audio and video, nothing insane, but something kind of moderate, 20 gigs might do you. Similarly, you could go on up to 30 gigs. And we do have a premium package if you want to contact us about that. That one we can do unmetered bandwidth and storage space and all that, but it's on a case-by-case basis, just so we can continue to manage things properly. But yeah, 10 gigabytes of bandwidth is usually enough for most beginner sites. 20 gigs and 30 gigs, moving on up. 10 email accounts, that's usually plenty for most people. And 10 FTP accounts, a park domain. Free SSL across the board. We use Let's Encrypt. It just automatically, boom, sets your SSL. Pretty much as soon as you load your main homepage on your site, give it about 24 hours and it'll crank through the system, and boom, you'll have SSL. You'll have the little padlock and everything, all good to go. So anyway, you can go through here. I don't want to belabor this and get into the weeds about all this right now, but you can read all this for your own in your own time. You can see for true cloud hosting, NVMe storage, Lightspeed is the primary platform we're using. So we're doing Lightspeed hosting. It's a web server, is a high-performance Apache drop-in replacement. So it really is basically Apache. It just makes things a little bit faster. And we use MariaDB for MySQL. So it's the same as regular MySQL, just a little bit faster. But you can scroll through here, do automatic nightly backups on the back end all the time. So that's always going on. Multiple versions of PHP, which I've found very handy for different situations. So you see it's Cloud Linux, Lightspeed hosting. We use cPanel as our main hosting control panel for the users. There's a lot we can do in that, and I'll be talking about that quite a bit in a whole separate video. You can see one-click install for WordPress, Drupal, Joomla, all this stuff. Or you could just simply register a domain right here. And we got our blog here, which we're going to update that pretty severely. But if you go over here to hosting, again, it's basically the same thing as the homepage currently, which will probably be changing a little bit. So it's more or less the same content, just strictly about the hosting. So let's get started real quick. I'll just show you real quick. I'll kind of go through part of the sign up process, and then I'm going to switch over to a demo account that I already have set up. But say you wanted to go with the startup package. It's going to be about $100 a year if you sign up for a year at a time, and I strongly recommend that you do that. Just save a little bit of money. And then just hit order now. And this will just walk you through the process here. So you could register your domain right here if you haven't already registered. Let's just say my super duper cool website. And then make sure you select whichever domain extension or TLD that you want. So let's see if this is available. I don't even know. Wow, what do you know? It's available. You obviously wouldn't do something so long and goofy and ridiculous, but shoot, I didn't even spell it right, did I? That's funny. Let's check again. Yep, that one's available. So you could register right there through this and then continue in the process with the hosting. Or if you already have a domain registered, you could click transfer your domain from another registrar. Now this will require you to go over to your existing domain registrar. You have to unlock the domain so that it's available for transfer, and you're going to have to get the authorization code. So make sure that you copy down the correct authorization code. And each domain registrar is a little bit different with how they handle it. I know there's a few that will they want to email it to you as opposed to just presenting it to you on the screen, so you might have to go through that. But anyway, you would just put in your domain here, and when you click transfer, well, see, since this one's already not taken, then it wouldn't even be available for transfer. Or if you want to just keep it at the registrar that you've already got and just get hosting, you can say I will use my existing domain and update my name servers so that they point to our name servers, which we'd give you that in an email. Once you finish the sign up, it'll give you all that information. So let's go back here, just pretend like we're registering this domain, because this is what most people would usually end up doing. So we got that. We're going to continue forward. So 1419 for that domain. And now we could just go ahead and continue on to sign up. Or if you want a dedicated IP, we do offer that. This is $70 per year. It's this whole manual process we have to do. Most people don't really need this, but if you want the dedicated IP, particularly if you're doing e-commerce of any kind, but particularly if you think it's going to be moderate traffic, and you're going to be getting some serious attention with it, then I would recommend a dedicated IP at that point. But for the average site, if you're just doing like a small e-commerce thing, selling some stuff here and there, it's not usually that big of a deal. So we can just leave that alone for now. And you could last minute change your billing cycle. You'll get a little bit more savings if you go every 2 years, every 3 years, however you want to do it. And then just from there continue on into the checkout process, like pretty much any other site does. I would recommend get the ID protection for the domain, because if you don't get the ID protection, you're probably going to be getting a lot of spam, people trying to buy and sell your domain and offer you other services and all kinds of bots and all this. So you don't want to mess with that. So definitely get the ID protection. That's just $450 a year at this point. Occasionally we have to adjust the price on this because that's a little bit out of our hands, and not a lot of wiggle room on that. Same with the DNS management. That's a little more advanced feature. Most people don't need that, but you could do that. Same with email forwarding, but most people just do the ID protection and then go from there. And then here at the checkout, you have an opportunity to apply a promo code. Now we will be doing a promo here pretty soon. It's early June as I'm recording this right now. So we're going to be doing some kind of a summer special coming up. So keep an eye out for that. I'll do a separate video about that, and I'll post about it on X and in our blog as well. And you'll be able to punch in that promo code here and save a bit of money. We'll also do another promo around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But anyway, then you just continue to check out. Let this load up. There we go. And be sure to put in all of your information. Make sure you use a secure password. I've got all this stuff already saved in here for a bunch of demo accounts. But anyway, make sure you put in a secure password, and make sure you check the terms of service right here, and then you'd be able to complete the order. So we're not going to go through all that right this second. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to back out of here and go to a demo account so I can show you a little bit more of what it will look like once you're registered. You'll be able to navigate your account and manage your domain, manage your hosting, send support tickets and all that. So let me back out of here and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you sign up and verify your email and all that stuff, I'll remind you about here in a minute, you'll be able to just go to midcitydigital.com and you can click client area up here. And this will bring you to a login page. You just punch in your email address that's been verified and your password. Click remember me if you want to make sure that it doesn't log you out within a certain time frame. I think like a couple of hours it'll keep you on, but then it'll eventually boot you if you're just idling for too long. But anyway, you can sign in there. I've already signed in over here on my demo account. So a couple of things here. So once you sign up, as I mentioned, you will receive a few different emails. One is going to be to verify your own email address, just for security purposes. Another, if If you're transferring in a domain, you're also going to get a couple of emails about that, one of which will be to verify the email associated with the domain itself already for that. Now, if you're registering a new domain, you wouldn't get that one, but you would also be getting another email that includes your initial account information. The subject of the email will be new account information. So that will have your basic login information and all that, which I would suggest you change later once you're familiar with the system. But so be on the lookout for those emails, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of that here and there throughout the rest of this. So anyway, this is your main client area control panel, as it were. There's a couple other control panels in here, so I'm trying to not mix and match too much, but this is your main client area. I'm going to try to not go too far into the weeds again, but here you can see right away you've got your main services here and your domains right here. So your service, this is going to be your hosting, and then your domains, obviously, however many domains you have, it'll reflect that right here. If you have any support tickets, those will show up right here. If you have any open invoices, those will show up right here. You could, from here, if you wanted to directly log into your cPanel, which is the real true back end of your website, you could log in right here. But there's another way to kind of navigate into this that I'll show you here in a second. So along the top here, you've got a few different options to choose from in this menu, and they're a little redundant throughout different parts of the interface here. Over here, you've got your main account information, so you could, adjust your account details. User management is pretty handy if you have a business partner working with you and they need access to your actual top level hosting account and the billing information or something. Maybe you have an accountant or something. You could add them here with that. So, you could just go in here and add their email, and you could select the different permissions you want them to be able to have. So, maybe not everybody needs to have access to, some of the main key points. Maybe they just need access to part of it. And then you send them an invite and they'll get an email about that. So let's go back home right here. So you can always navigate back to this if you click on home or you click on the logo here. Got some shortcuts here for ordering new services, registering a domain. That's the same as basically ordering services here or registering a domain here. And again, you can renew your domains from here, transfer it in right there. You could do a domain search right here. If you're thinking about something additional, some other variation on your domain, which is always pretty smart to do. I generally tell people try to get at least the .com, .net, and .org of your own primary domain name, and then you can have them all point to the same place. So I'll show you how to do that here momentarily. Now let's go back home real quick. Under billing, this is pretty key. So again, if you have invoices, those will show up over here. I've got all these from my past demonstrations that I've kind of played with here. You can go to, sometimes there's quotes involved. That's not always the case. Sometimes custom design clients, I might send them a quote for something, so that would be there. Payment methods, you can adjust whatever account that you have, whatever credit card you have on file. Currently, we only accept credit cards and debit cards. We're not doing PayPal at the moment. Maybe again in the future, but I'm not sure just yet. We've also dabbled with accepting Bitcoin, and we might do that again in the future. So keep an eye out for that. Now, here's something really key. If you want to add funds to your account, this would basically just top off your account and pay for your hosting renewal or your domain renewal in the future, or it would just give you kind of a war chest if you're wanting to register several domains and you're not quite sure yet. You could just go ahead and load that up here, and that'll just give you like a nice buffer zone, so it's not going to be hitting your credit card or your debit card again quite yet. It'll draw from this credit that you put in there manually yourself. So that's something that comes into play for certain clients, and you know, a lot of people find that pretty handy to do. We also occasionally integrate that into some of our specials, where if you add a certain amount, we'll match a certain percentage of that, you know. So we usually do that for like our existing clients. So that's something to also keep an eye out for. So let's go on to support. So support tickets. I don't have any tickets for my own thing, but those would appear here. You could open a new ticket right here. Click Open New Ticket. Let's see right here, announcements. This is fairly key to keep an eye on. Now you'll see these announcements here. These also appear right in this little area on the home page of the client area. So keep an eye out for this when things are added. When there's some new announcement I need to mention, like this. For instance, you know, we've had to adjust some things with our server recently. Normally your FTP account, for instance, would normally be ftp. Whatever your domain is .com. Currently, we've got to have it set to this. So, so when things like that come up, I'll post them here, and you can find out what you need to do to keep things running smoothly. So it's not too often anything comes up, but there's that. So yeah, let's see here. There's a couple other things under your account I wanted to mention. Again, the emails, when you first set up your account, you will get a few different emails. One to verify your email, which is very important. You can't really do anything if you don't verify your emails. Everything just kind of sits there and waits for that to happen first. But you can also, if you can't find the original account information email, and you need to go back and be like, whoa, what was my login? What was all that originally? You can go back here to your email history and dig through. And again, this is my demo account. I've done all kinds of little demonstrations with this, so it's just loaded up with all kinds of nonsense in here. But you'll see, like, you know, it's got domain renewal emails and customer invoice emails. All of those are reflected in here. So anything that our automated system has sent you, it will be reflected right here as well. Let's see if I can navigate back over to, yeah, here's one for new account information. It'll basically, in your regular email inbox, it'll look something like this. I'm going to scroll down a little bit just to kind of show you. So it shows, you know, the new account information, the hosting package. It shows, you know, the payment and everything right there. And you can see right here, I'm going to blur it out for this, obviously, but it'll show the username and password. Now that's your master login and password, which I would suggest changing later. We'll talk about that momentarily. And it'll show the current IP address for the control panel and everything. This IP address is an older one, so we're a little different now, but here's the name servers right here. So if you're transferring in a domain, you would need to set your name servers to ns1.midcitydigital.com and ns2.midcitydigital.com. Temporary FTP host name. Again, this is what I just mentioned. You know, we've had to kind of switch it to this other kind of white labeled situation just for some server security purposes at the data center. So check that out. But that's basically what will be in your new account email. So keep an eye out for that. Let's close that out. Another thing here, under account security, there's only this one little thing here. Single sign-on. This is so that you can basically, when you log into your client area, you can also click through to your cPanel and to your webmail. So just make sure to leave that on. It should be automatically set. And then also another security thing, under this security settings, go here, and I would highly recommend that, especially, once your site is starting to get active and everything, make sure you enable two-factor authentication. And you just click there to enable it, and use Google Authenticator or Duo, and scan the code, do all that. Most people know how to do that these days, so I won't over explain that here. We're not going to do that right now on this particular thing, this particular account. Now again, if you want to once you're kind of familiar and everything, I would again suggest you go here and change your password. So that way it's not just sitting there hanging out in your email, waiting for somebody to somehow magically dig into your info and find it. So go ahead and change your existing password to whatever you want. Just make sure it's nice and strong. Use crazy numbers and characters, and make it as confusing as possible. Write it down on a little sticky note for yourself that you keep hidden away somewhere, or use a really good password manager. Most browsers tend to have those built in at this point, so maybe use that. It's up to you on that decision. So that's kind of the main things I wanted to show here. And let's go back over here. Let me show you a couple of other little things. So again, back on the home page, under services and under domains, there's a few things I want to point out real quick to wrap this up. Under services, if you click on that, you'll see any and all hosting packages you currently have. Now, if you click on the direct link itself, it'll take you to the website, to the actual website. So it'll pop open a new window. I don't think I have anything set up here right now. Yeah, it's just a blank white page right now. I'm gonna do some other demo thing with that relatively soon. But if you click anywhere in the row here, it'll take you to the specifics about this hosting package. So a few things here. Straight away, I want to point out right here, you can log straight into your cPanel from here. So a lot of times you might want to just log into whatever your domain.com/cPanel, and that'll take you to it. But then you have to log in with your correct username and password at that level. But here, you can just go to your client area and navigate over here under the services and select your hosting package and click cPanel, and it'll take you straight into it. So when you do that, it'll open a new window, and boom, here's your cPanel. And this is where all the magic happens. I'm going to do a whole separate video on cPanel, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It'll probably be right in the same playlist as this video, right next to it or something. So check that out. There's a lot to go over there. It is super powerful. This is where people start getting excited about really building and managing their own websites. So stay tuned. Now from here, you could also go straight into your webmail. So once you set up your emails, you could log straight in here and check your email just like you would with Gmail or Proton or whatever. You could do that right here. You could again change your password here. Pretty much the same thing as changing your password over here. So again, a few things are kind of redundant. You could upgrade your hosting package from here if you want to, or if you decide, hey, this isn't working for me, you could request cancellation. We'd be bummed. Now down here, we've got this auto renewal module down here. You can adjust your billing cycle if you need to. You can go ahead and renew for an additional year. You could turn auto renewal off if that just isn't working for you and you just need to go month to month, just play it by ear. Now, these shortcuts right here, these are also within your cPanel that I just showed you. So this email accounts, forwarders, autoresponders, file manager, all that, these are all here in cPanel. So I usually recommend people just go ahead and navigate over to cPanel and do all that there, because these are just going to take you over there anyways. You have this quick create email account. I usually tell people don't mess with this. Again, just go to the email accounts in your cPanel and set up your custom emails over there. And the reason being is because this just lets you type in any old password, Whereas if you go through this, it'll make you use a really strong password, and you can just like hit a button and it'll generate one for you. So it's a lot more convenient. But that's about that right there. Then it just shows your billing overview. Now let's navigate back. Again, you can click client area, portal home, click the logo. They all kind of take you to the same place. Now let's check out the domains. I just want to show you a couple more little features here on domains. So, you know, I've got a few here that I'm kind of playing with. Let's say on MidCity, let's say midcitypodcast.com. If I click on that, it'll take me to this page. So we got a few different options here. So we've got this auto renew option right here. So you can click into that, adjust your auto renew settings. You could adjust the name servers. By default, you know, you'll be using our name servers. Or if you have some custom ones, if you only got a domain, you could have it point somewhere else. Like I think we've got one or two clients that only have a registered domain, but they built their site out on Wix or something, so they're pointing it over there. Registrar lock is if you're transferring in or out, whatever registrar you're on, you have to unlock it before you can transfer it. So that's if you're transferring out from here, you'd have to unlock it from here. Your authorization code, you'd have to get that from here as well. Contact information, make sure that your domain has the current up-to-date contact information. Otherwise, I've seen things go kind of haywire once in a while when the whole registration system goes through every so often, just trying to verify everybody's info. If your info isn't up to date, it could potentially cause it to just not auto renew like you would expect or whatever. So make sure you have the correct contact information in there for that, even though it's hidden with the privacy protection thing. Private name servers, don't worry about that for most people. That's usually, you know, at a higher level if, you know, you're doing your own name server situation, so don't mess with that. Now, here's something that's really cool. If you want to forward your domain, so say you've registered several versions of your domain, but you only have one main hosting package, you could have all those other domains point to that main host. So I could right here say midcitypodcast.com. I would set it, say for now, you can set it temporary or permanent. I'd say for now, I just go ahead and set it as permanent. I could say have it redirect a specific directory, but since it's the whole domain and I don't have a hosting set up on that, say I just want to have this point to, not sure if you need to add the HTTPS in this field or not, but I'm going to go ahead and add that anyways. So midcitydigital.com. And you can set it to only redirect with www, or with or without www, or do not redirect www. In most cases, the simplest bet is redirect with or without. You've got this wildcard option that you could do. But let's just go ahead and keep it simple like this. Let's hit add domain forwarder. And so now, once this goes through, it usually takes a little while for this to propagate. So if we checked right now, it might not work. It probably won't work quite yet. I'd be surprised if it did. Yeah, see, it's not redirecting quite yet, but like you give it like a little while, you know, maybe half a day, 24 hours or so, and the domain will eventually resolve and propagate to point to wherever you point it to. So this will eventually point to midcitydigital.com. So anyway, I just wanted to point out the forwarder right there. You can also forward emails, you know, so you can do an email forwarder. You know, of whatever email address at whatever domain, you know, that you have, and have it point somewhere else, like to your Gmail or something, just by default. So that's an option you could do. And let's see, let's go back to my domains. I think These are the main things I wanted to point out. So I think we've covered most of it. Could renew it from here. Registrar lock status, again, it's kind of redundant. You got the registrar lock over here, name servers right here, name servers right there. Yep, that's about it right there. So take a look at midcitydigital.com, see if this hosting is right for you. And we might be adding a couple of different hosting packages. Also, I mean, I'll point out lastly, if you strictly want to register a domain, we're more than happy to help you with that. So, you could just simply register a domain. We've got a whole bunch of domain extensions that we're using right now. Some of these we might drop off the list, and we might add some others relatively soon. So we're kind of playing with a little bit of that in the background. So one of the big things this whole year for 2024 is just kind of tweaking some different things like that with Mid-City Digital. So you could choose from any one of these domain extensions that you see here. Keep an eye out for it updating or changing a little bit. And then, once you register your domain, you'd see that pop up here in your client area. And again, you could forward it to your main hosting package or whatever you need to do with it. Transfer domains in, transfer them out, however you need to. And I guess that's about it really for this video. Visit midcitydigital.com. When we're running different hosting specials, you'll probably get like a pop-up right here on the homepage telling you about it, giving you the promo code or whatever. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely got something coming up for a summer special, and there'll definitely be another one around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that kind of stuff. So that's about it for now. Keep your eyes peeled for the cPanel tutorial, and I will catch you next time. Follow us on X at MidCityDigital, and that's about it. See you next time.